Boom. So good evening, everybody. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me this evening. If you're here live on Facebook, means the world. If you're watching on Twitter, means the world. Or LinkedIn, means the world. If you're watching on the replay on any of those platforms or you're listening on the audio experience, thank you so much. You can subscribe to this for free, guys, if you're here live. So you get the audio to every live broadcast that I do on a Monday night as part of the Acts on This TV audio experience. I put lots of other free content out there as well, but you can search on iTunes or Apple Podcasts as it's called now. You can search on Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, lots of other places you would get your podcast from. Just search for Act on This TV, all one word, and you'll find the Act on This TV audio experience. Thanks everyone joining us live though. All you guys who are here tonight means the world. We're going to be hanging out until 10 o'clock tonight, talking all things acting, basically all things mindset again tonight. I'm going to cover a lot of chewing the fat, just literally about anything you want to talk about, acting career related, whether that's show reels, your, I don't know, headshots, auditions, self-tapes, marketing yourself, side hustles, earning money to support your acting career. Anything you want to talk about, we're going to talk about that. I'm also going to be recapping, on a few things that have gone on actonthis.tv over the last couple of weeks, and some incredible stuff that's coming up this week, next week, and basically every week this year. So if you're not part of this community, you've not got a membership to Act on This, definitely consider it. There's never been a better time to join us, really. I'm going to go over to the site now. This is actonthis.tv. I'm just going to show you a couple of things that are published on the site recently. Last week I published, when would it have been? Last Tuesday. I published a brand new premium member only podcast with a great friend of mine and a top mindset coach, Mr. Matt Hall, top high performance mindset coach, where we sat down, basically recorded a podcast for you guys, going really deep on what I think, and I think also because you guys told me on the last live broadcast that I did, the 5 biggest mindset problems that actors are facing right now. All things around anxiety about reaching out to casting directors and emailing casting directors and feeling good enough to be able to do that, to things like Imposter Syndrome, Self-Esteem, overwhelm, patience. People struggle with a lot in this industry. The full 2-hour recording of that chat, it's game-changing, guys, is over on actonthis.tv right now, along with loads of other podcasts, loads of other recordings of live Zoom calls that I've done recently with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers, directors in the acting industry. They're over on Act on This right now, but I'm going to just play a little mashup of the mindset podcast that I did with Matt, and then let me know which of these 5 things that we bring up here resonates with you guys the most, because I also want to get your feedback tonight, because I'm thinking of hosting a really in-depth mindset coaching specifically for actors weekend in October of this year. It gives me plenty of time to prep it, plenty of time to make sure we cover everything that you guys want to cover, but also time to, I'm going to book in some incredible guests, some really big names in the acting industry, very famous actors or directors or writers, people who can come and talk about their own sort of journey with mindset and success in this industry. But here's a little bit of the call, not the call, of the podcast that I recorded with Matt. Let me know which of these points resonates with you the most. Matt Hall, welcome to my kitchen. Matt did an awesome webinar with us in November.
What I love to see is the amount of people that are posting about it and importantly focusing on not just what they took away from the last webinar, but what they're going to implement.
The first one is...
You can't remember, that's why, isn't it? You didn't know their name.
People struggling with email anxiety.
The more that you can handle pressure, judgment, expectations, stress, and ultimately dealing with problems, the more success you can handle.
Patience. People just struggle so much with patience.
What you've got to understand is you cannot control the outcome. You can control it as best as possible by doing everything you can possibly do. But like you said, there's an awful lot out of your control. We have to come back to finding joy in the journey. A happy, content, confident person is an attractive person.
The third point that people were struggling with is self-esteem.
If I've done it before, I can do it again.
Yes.
So if you've been in the acting industry and you've had, some great opportunities, you've been a part of something great, and even if it wasn't paid opportunities, but you did a good performance, it doesn't matter how long you've been out there, you've got evidence to support the belief that you can do it.
Imposter syndrome.
What is it to you? Because I think it's actually a really positive thing in my life if I feel it.
It means you're on the path of growth. It means you're on the path of high achievement, of greatness, of excellence. I completely agree. It's a really, really positive place to be.
People being super self-critical of their performance, yet seeing great in everybody else but them.
Self-awareness. If everyone else is great and you think you're shit, is there evidence? And find someone you trust to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, does anyone else agree with this opinion? Here is the secret to being a successful actor.
Go on.
At onthis.tv, and I got so caught up in that then that I nearly forgot to actually come back on camera. At onthis.tv, if you want to get your full membership to At On This and get access to the full 2-hour recording of that session with Matt. Seriously, some game-changing strategies and stuff that we talk about in there. I also did a webinar with Matt as well that you'll find in the members area over on atonthis.tv. If you just joined recently, click into your members area, guys. I'll take you over there now. For those on the audio experience, sorry, I know you can't see this, but I'm just going into the members area on the site. And if you scroll to the bottom of the members area, past all the features with agents and casting directors and directors, you'll find a section at the bottom there that says features with other industry pros. And we did a really in-depth webinar, again, talking about strategies around mindset with Matt. And I titled that, If You Pass the Blame, You Pass the Power. I think that even in itself is a really important lesson. A lot of people in the acting industry, they want to blame everything about this industry for why they're not succeeding, as opposed to, stop pointing at people and turn those fingers into thumbs and point back at themselves and go, well, actually, you know what, maybe it's me, that I'm just not, I need to start looking at things differently. I need to start taking accountability, responsibility for where I'm at. Maybe, I could have done more today. Maybe I could work on myself, work on my mindset so that rejection that I'm getting right now doesn't cripple me and floor me, so I can keep moving on. Maybe, I won't take things too personally, or I can get better at scheduling stuff and not get overwhelmed, and I can prioritize stuff, and I can meet more people in the industry, all kinds of things. Ultimately, when you pass the blame, like I completely agree with Matt in there, you pass the power, and it's a really powerful thing to take on board, really, where you take full responsibility for where you're at. And it's not like, oh, woe me, it's all my fault. It's basically giving you all the power back, saying I can do something about it. So 2 super powerful features on mindset in the members area for you right now. I'm going to dive into comments, and then I want to just talk a little bit about this event to see if it's something that you guys would be interested in, because me and Matt were talking about it the other day and thought, we should do something based on the feedback that we've had so far from those features. Tracy said, Matt is so encouraging for everybody. Awesome. Matt's just brilliant, says Alex. Yeah, he is really, really good, Matt, in terms of, a lot of the stuff that he talks about is science backed. It's not just, think positive and everything's going to be great. It's like real structured frameworks of actually how to look at the world and look at your life and look at your acting career. And it's really the science of success, genuinely. So what I was thinking of doing, and I don't know whether it's difficult because I don't know where we're going to be at in October. We're probably going to be in a world where we can host live events safely. And I know people are doing that already now. So I don't know whether to do it as a live event. What I would want to do, I used to run a mindset program in 2014 called Bulletproof Factor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success. And it was 10 years of study that I'd done into the acting industry and self-confidence, self-belief, me working on both sides of the camera, in front of the camera, behind the camera, working in casting, seeing actors self-sabotage, seeing what had happened to them previously in their lives, these ultimately like life stories that they had built for themselves and were telling themselves, all of this stuff that was really getting in their own way. Human beings are the worst for it, not just actors, but actors are pretty bad at getting in their own way. There's a lot of, self-criticism, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs around what many actors believe they can and can't achieve. And if they're going to believe, that they can't achieve something, then they're never going to achieve it. So based on that Bulletproof Actor program, I was thinking of doing, a full weekend. It would be a full Saturday, a full Sunday, long hours. Every time I do a coaching program across a weekend, it's long. We probably will do 9-10 hours a day, but you'll end up with 20 hours of coaching or so. It'll all be completely recorded. You'll get access to it forever. And we will just cover everything around basically breaking down and annihilating your own bullshit limiting beliefs about what you can and can't achieve, and help you genuinely rewrite your life story. So moving forward, you are empowered by everything all the stuff that you might be labeling now as a tragedy, making a paradigm shift and refocusing and relabeling the way you look at that and seeing the gifts within it to move forward and ultimately make you more resilient, way more resilient, just sort of like much more responsible, empowered, accountable for your career, knowing that you actually can make a difference. And the science suggests this. Honestly, it'll blow your mind and you'll think I'm sound absolutely mental. But like when we look at CAT scans and MRIs, like, around the brain, I know it sounds absolutely bonkers, but there is some evidence, right? Not masses, but some evidence that literally the way you think can bend your own reality in terms of, the science of success, and whether you want to call it the science behind the law of attraction or whatever it is. But there really is stuff that you can see physically on scans of the brain. When people think a different way, you can rewire your brain. Your brain is malleable, effectively. You can rewire the neural pathways, and ultimately, just bring a freaking lot more joy and success into your life. So if it sounds good to you, let me know in the comments if it's something that you'd be interested in attending. It's probably going to be a limited event in terms of the number of people who will be able to, who will be able to get a ticket for it. Whether it's in person, that will be down to obviously the size of the venue, or if we do it on Zoom, because maybe that would make it more accessible to people because you wouldn't have to pay for travel or hotels or overnights, etc. We'd still cap it because the quality of the coaching I'd want to give people is not like. I wouldn't be able to have hundreds and hundreds of actors there. Normally, I always cap stuff at this at about 150, 200 people. So let us know. Let us know if it's something that you would be interested in. Marianne says, I've recently been auditioning for drama colleges. I've been recalled for 3, but I've been unsuccessful for all. I struggle with everyone getting success around me, which made me think I was not worth anything, even though I've had some experience in the acting industry. I have a lot of self-doubt when it comes to this. Like, do directors look at you? Talent, looks, I'm so confused. Don't be confused, because you just found I don't know if you remember Acts on This or what, but you just found the perfect community within the Acts on This community to discuss this sort of stuff, Marianne. And I just want to say, I ended up going to a really decent drama school. At the time, it's one of the only 5 accredited drama schools in the country. I'm pretty ancient, so I went back in 2002 to 2005. But I didn't get in on year 1. And I felt exactly the same as you. You're like, oh my God, I gave it everything. What's going on? Like, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm never going to make it. All this kind of stuff. When I re-auditioned the year after, I looked at the year above me in terms of an ensemble cast, because ultimately drama schools have to create shows with the cast of the year, effectively. There was no way, Marianne, honestly, I don't want to sound awful, but I wouldn't have wanted to be in that year. It was a completely different, type of person that, like, I just felt I fitted into the year group that I actually ended up being in. I re-auditioned the year after, and I was like, I'm so grateful that I'm with these people, as opposed to, not that there was anything wrong with the people above me. It was just, they all suited each other. As an ensemble, they suited the shows they were doing. We were a slightly different mix, and I felt we suited the shows that we did. And I preferred the shows that we were doing as opposed to the shows that the year above us put on. So I'm just a real big believer in terms of, like, it is all that cliched stuff, and you'll go, oh, it's bullshit, but, what is meant for you won't pass you by, and that, you won't be able to connect the dots looking forward. You'll only be able to connect the dots looking back. And in a year's time, maybe you re-audition if that's what you decide to do, or maybe you decide you don't want to do that now, and you just go to, weekly screen acting classes locally or something like that, which I think is a incredible idea for anyone who wants to work on TV. I promise you, drama school, I wouldn't go again. And I'll say that to my drama school. I wouldn't do it again because I realised sort of like quite late on within that degree course, actually, I just wanted to work in TV and film, and we only got 1 week of TV training in 3 years. Now, back then, I paid only 15 grand for that training. It was about 5 grand a year. The equivalent degree nowadays, I think, is around about £47,500. There's no way on earth I got £47,500 worth of value out of that degree. I really didn't. The only thing that I got was a little bit of kind of like confidence, because I looked around me and went, well, if these are supposed to be the best people in the industry, and with respect, a lot of the people in my year group were falling apart by the end of that degree, because that's what drama school does to a lot of people. It really makes people doubt everything about themselves. I went, well, I stand a chance when I get out, So it gave me confidence in that, but there's no way I got nearly 50 grand worth of value out of that degree. Absolutely no way. So don't pin all your hopes and dreams on that as well. The most successful people I know in TV and film never went. Saying that, there's lots of successful people in TV and film did go. I've got a guest on That's on This.tv this Thursday night, and I want everyone to attend this if they can. I'll play a little trailer out for you in a minute, where I'm doing a live Zoom call with an incredible actress who did train at RADA. Rashenda Sandel is her name. She played Lisa McQueen in Line of Duty. She plays a character called Azure in Doctor Who, incredible alien-looking character. She's just starring with Martin Compston in The Rig, a new Amazon Prime drama, and she did go to drama school. She went to RADA, but I equally know people who have achieved that success and didn't go. So just what's right for one person isn't necessarily right for everyone, and don't think just because you went to a drama school that you're going to work, because I know 23 out of my year group, and we're only 25 in the group, just don't work in acting anymore. That's practically it. Most people have given up. And those people who don't go to drama school, that doesn't guarantee that you won't get work. So if you are prepared to hustle, train, because you've got to train, I don't mean not train. It's very, very important to hone your craft, but you don't have to do it for 50 grand at a drama school, because that's what everybody does. It's just what everybody does. It's not that special anymore. Sharon, how are you? Hope you are well. What have you missed? Not a lot, Sharon. We're just waffling on about drama school right now, as I always do. People are saying that's interesting in terms of the mindset weekend. Honestly, I'm so passionate about mindset and belief, because I just think it ties in at every part of your life. And if you've got that down, you're not only becoming a better actor, you're becoming a better human being. You're going to show up in the world so differently when you believe in yourself, when you realize that, you have just as much potential as anybody else. Which means when you're more confident around people, they get a different vibe off you. They want to spend more time with you, which means you make more contacts in the industry or just in life in general. You add more value to people's lives. That just brings more value into your life. I just think everything begins and ends with your mindset and the way that you look at the world. So it's not just going to help you in your acting career. You can apply what we would teach at this weekend into every single element of your life, effectively. Your relationships, the way you look at maybe your health, your body composition, working out, the way you make money. So many people, oh my God, let me know in the chat what your relationship is like with money. Have you been telling yourself as an actor that you have to suffer for your art? This romantic notion of it's a struggle and we have to struggle, or money is hard to come by. Maybe, I came from a really working class family, was told from such a young age, all of these cliched, negative associations with money, that money is, isn't easy to come by. Money doesn't grow on trees. A lot of scarcity around money. And it wasn't until much later in life, till knocking on the door of 30, I went, hang on a second, I need to change the way that I look at money and my relationship with it, particularly in the acting industry and around, what I can earn and what I'm capable of earning and what I should value myself at and what I should ask for. And ultimately, to allow money in and out, not hoard it and just, I used to, I see a lot of people who would protect, they would almost sort of if I came up to them in the street and tried to take £5 off them, they would literally fight me to the death for it. They'd put so much energy into protecting the £5 they've already got, but they won't put any energy into going out and making another £5. It's mental, but a lot of people are that. It's scarce. I've got to hold on to everything, and then they never spend any money on themselves and invest in themselves, and they never spend money on developing or getting better. They just spend money on a night out and around a tequila to run away from their problems. Mindset and money is fascinating to me. So let me know I'd love to know in the comments, and if you're listening on the audio experience, drop me a tweet where are you at when it comes to mindset and finances, because that in itself can be life-changing. Sarah, how are you doing? Says, recently I filmed a scene with Chris Stone and I will get my show reel edited by him. Do you think May is a good month to start emailing agents again? Every month is a good month to start emailing agents again. That's maybe a mindset thing, Sarah, as well. There is no month that's better or worse to write to an agent. Ultimately, if you can offer an agent something they do not already have, they will want to talk to you. It's as simple as that. And it doesn't matter whether it's January and this bullshit notion of, books are open. There's a good agent. No good agent's books are ever closed. Why? It doesn't make any business sense again. Coming back to money and business, if you could earn an agent money, Sarah, why are they going to go, I'm sorry, you have to wait till next January now? No. They could make money out of you in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and January. So no, that's just a confidence thing in yourself. There is no right or wrong time to reach out. The one thing right now, the only thing to consider right now, and it's not even really something to consider, is a lot of agents are looking at the drama school graduates because they will start graduating next month and the month after, in sort of May and June. So they'll be going to a lot of shows and showcases for the drama school grads. But that's it. That's it. It's the only thing to consider. And even then, it's not really anything to consider because as long as you feel you can offer something different, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, get your stuff out. I'm sure Chris Stone has done a great job of your reel. And I like Sharon's comment there. Anytime is a good time. It absolutely is. Pammy G says, magical mindset weekend sounds amazing. I'd be up for that. I love it. Honestly, I freaking love it. I'm definitely going to do it. It sounds like people just want it. And also what I'll do is I'll probably put a survey up. Let me know if you think this is a good idea, because I want what I always like to do at these events is make sure that whatever I'm going to be coaching people on there, and I'll get Matt involved in it as well, and I'm going to try and bring lots of other people from the industry in it, so there'll be guest speakers and stuff, and we'll do guest sessions and fireside chats and little seminar type things. You'll get a lot of practical, actionable strategies to take away with you. What I like to do is I've completely lost my train of thought. What were you saying, Pammy G? Pammy G, what were you saying? You'd be up for that? What was I going to say? I was going to say something about why it would be good. Bear with me. I'll come back. Don't you hate it when you do that? You ever done that? You think, I'm going to say that, and you go off on a little tangent, and then you go, what was it I was actually going to say? Magical mindset weekend. I'm going to rethink, and I'll come back to that, Pammy G. But basically, I've got it. It's funny as well, isn't it, when you go, I'll come back to that, and then you stop thinking about it, and it comes back. What I like to do to make it practical and make sure that I actually serve you in the way that you need to be served, in terms of we cover all of the stuff you are struggling with, I'll probably create a short survey asking you about the things that you struggle the most with. I'll put that in the Acts on This Facebook group, and I might send it out via email. So if you're not on the Acts on This email list, go to actsonthis.tv/subscribe. You can get on the email list for free. You'll get notifications every week of all the events we're doing with top guests, but you'll also get a notification of any events. And I will use that, qualitative feedback to make sure that we cover everything that actually really needs covering at the event. Definitely. Mar, how are you doing? Says, definitely interested in that weekend. Would probably access it through Zoom unless I can manage to save to go there, because I actually love to be there and meet everyone. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? I'm going to an event in May in Minneapolis, so I'm going to be. I'm nervous about it, guys. I'm going to be leaving Act on This as a community. I'm just gonna be like leaving it for 5 days and like putting stuff out, but like praying it all doesn't fall apart. Petch is in control though. He's a good safe pair of hands. But yeah, and the thing for me was I could have attended this thing digitally, but I've gone, you know what? I just need to. I feel like we've spent 2 years so isolated. I do so much of this. I'm on camera. I'm talking to you on the internet. That I just need to go and shake people's hands and sanitize, obviously, but like be in the space. And that's a really interesting conference that I'm going to in Minneapolis. It's something that not a lot of people will probably be aware of right now, but have a look into, I don't know if anyone's into the cryptocurrency space and blockchain technology and things called NFTs, non-fungible tokens. These are effectively digital assets that you can buy and have definitive proof of digitally that you own. And I think not only it's blown up in the art world space at the moment. A lot of digital art is being sold. But I think in our industry, this is why I want to go, it's going to be game-changing. People will be buying tickets to the theatre as NFTs, as these digital pieces of, digital assets effectively. So say, for instance, I try to think of a good sort of example. Let's say you're a new filmmaker, right? And you create this incredible film that you really want, obviously, people to come and see as a premiere. What you could do is you could hook up with, let's say, for instance, I don't know, a up-and-coming artist, a literal, digital artist, someone who can draw or paint amazingly. And they design maybe the poster for your film, okay? And then what you do is, for the premiere, you invite exclusively, you've got 100 tickets for the premiere, that's it. And everybody who gets a ticket gets a digital signed copy of this movie poster that's been designed by this up-and-coming artist, okay? That in itself, even after the event, has a value online on what's called the blockchain, effectively, like a ledger of all of these transactions. So you can have definitive proof that your cryptocurrency wallet, you own that digital asset. somebody might go, hang on a minute, that artist who drew it, imagine he, like 5 years time, he goes off and he blows up to be the next Banksy, or she, okay? They become a very famous artist and their artwork is worth a lot of money. You have one of only 100 copies of this ticket that was for this premiere, maybe their first public piece of artwork or whatever from 5 years ago, that suddenly people go, God, you know what, I'll give you $3,000 for that. And you go, wow, a film ticket that I spent, a premiere ticket I spent 15 quid on, someone's prepared to give me $3,000 for, because it's this digital piece of artwork that I can prove I own if I buy it off you on the blockchain, and I can display it in these digital frames that everyone's going to have soon on their wall, where you'll be able to push your NFTs to a frame on the wall that you can change the picture of. You're no longer going to be hanging up pictures that are just a canvas or something like that. You'll be able to digitally change what is on that. That's the way the world's going to go. I promise you. And people will trade music on the blockchain and release albums on the blockchain and films and maybe theatre tickets. It's going to change the way we consume content. It's going to change the way that us as actors and production companies create content. I know it sounds a little bit crazy and a bit mental, and a lot of people go, oh, that'll never take off. But it will. It's called Web3. It's ultimately the third iteration of the web. And it's going to be a very exciting time. So look into NFTs if you're remotely geeky and you think, hang on a minute, this sounds like a fun place to be. There's a lot of good, a lot of good stuff happening in that space right now. But I'm going to go to that conference in person because I'm like, I want to do that. So I don't know if we'd hold the Mindset conference in person or whether we would do it on Zoom. There is an option maybe we could do it on both, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Definitely. Let's have a look. Alex has got 2 podcasts Alex is promoting there as well. Steve Bartlett's podcast, it's called Diary of a CEO, is an incredible podcast. Everybody should subscribe to that. I'm trying to get Steve. I spoke to Steve's manager last week, Alex, to try and get him, even just for 30 minutes, to come and do an act on this member only, like webinar or something like that. He would be an incredible guest. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to skip quite a few comments because I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit behind on the comments tonight. Let's see what else is going on. Kate says, I'm doing a happy dance today. Nice one, Kate. Went for an audition for a TV series pilot. 12 people asked to audition for one role. I was only pulled in because someone dropped out. I prepped myself and went. The others had 4 months to prep. I had 2 weeks. 14 people in the room auditioning me, and last night I got the phone call to say they're offering me the part. Yes! Nice one, Kate. That's wicked. Well bloody done you. That's fantastic. There you go. Hard work makes the dream work, Kate. That's what it's all about, definitely. You do that bloody happy dance, and I cannot wait. Hopefully, if it's a pilot, hopefully it gets picked up and commissioned, and maybe you'll get a part in the actual show. If it does get greenlit, that's absolutely amazing. Big congrats, definitely. Everyone's saying congrats in the chat there, definitely. And Pammy says you're right. Money is just an energy exchange made up of paper. I agree with that. I think money really is energy, and you should allow it. It's so hard to say when we've got a cost of living crisis and all this stuff right now, and I know it's difficult for people to get their head around. But I really do, as I started to just allow money out of my life and not hoard it, but I would spend it on things and investments in myself. I don't mean like, I just go and buy a bottle of whiskey and drown my sorrows. Money did come back into my life through the investment, and I know it's really difficult. All those people who bought First CV Roll Fast Track, the First CV Roll program that I launched again this year, like massive shout out to all those people for investing in themselves. So many people in that group just this week as well. I've had loads of private messages. I suppose I'll have to keep them private. I won't be able to say any names, although my own girlfriend did it and has just auditioned this week for, and I didn't make her pay, by the way. I did make her pay for the program. She just auditioned this week for, I can't say what it is, but literally my favourite show on earth. Like a big show based on that program, but it would never have happened if she didn't invest in herself, because she ended up getting herself that audition this week, learning the strategies and the tactics around knowing how to do that. So like nobody can take credit for that bar her. It's not a coincidence she wrote to a certain casting director, got a reply straight away, and the very next day got asked to tape for a role based on the character she was playing in the very first role on her showreel, which is what we teach everybody to do in that program. Like, she would never have done that had she not invested in herself. And it's very easy not to invest in yourself when, money is relatively, tight right now. So I get it, but it isn't. I agree with you, Pammy. I believe it is an energy, and you've got to just trust and make that leap and go, you know what? investing a bit in myself where I can will pay dividends in the future, definitely. What's that, Alex? I've released a song I made on a software as an NFT. What do you mean? Have you really? That's insane if you have. And I want to know how you've done that. And that's crazy. I mean, that's a thing though. Like that's a real thing. I'd be very interested to see what that is, Alex. Send me a link to it, mate. Let's see what else is going on here, and then I want to show a trailer for this Zoom call that we're going to be doing on Thursday night with Rashenda. It's going to be wicked. She's so funny as well. Such an incredible actress, but proper funny. Let's just scroll down here. Replied to a certain post on Acts on this morning. Had a very positive email back within an hour. Watch this space. Natalie, crushing it. Well, Acts on this members just crush it because they just get shit done. Definitely. There are a lot of crappy NFTs doing the rounds at the moment. It absolutely is the case, Nick. 99% of projects will probably go to zero, but you've really got to seek out the best projects, and that takes 10,000 hours of research, which I would suggest everybody does before you part with any money, because it is a little bit like the Wild West, effectively. Let's go over to Acts on this. I'm going to just jump into the live call schedule for the next couple of weeks. I've got more to put on here, by the way. Acts on this members get access to either a live call every single week with a top casting director, agent, actor, writer, producer, or director, or an in-depth podcast, like a 2-hour podcast with these incredible guests as well. I generally do 3 live calls a month, 1 in-depth podcast. Although July, guys, just to give you a heads up, is going to be exclusively all podcasts because I know a lot of people go away on holiday in July. It's notoriously difficult to tie people down to live events. And I also want to go away, get a bit of sunshine. So here you will see, if you're watching live right now or on the replay, 2 days, 21 hours as I record this live. We're going to be joined by Doctor Who and Line of Duty actress Rashenda Sandal. RADA trained, but we're going to get the lowdown on whether... I'll ask her, would you go again? Would you go? Now you went, and obviously you've had the success you've had. Was it the success of the training that you had at drama school that's was it the impact of that's led you to achieve what you've achieved, or did it really matter? It'd be very interesting. But she's just starring opposite Martin Compston in Amazon's new original show The Rig that Kelly Valentine Hendry cast, and we're just gonna have a chat, ultimately a really open, honest, vulnerable chat in this session on Thursday night about how Rashenda has built her career over the years, exactly what she's done, what she's learned, what she's done wrong, what she's done right, what she would do again if she could go back. All of her tips around auditioning and self-taping, landing agents, moving agents, signing with new agents, building relationships with casting directors. Ultimately, she's an open book. We'll answer any question that we want. We're going to have a great 90-minute session. I will bring people on camera to have a little one-to-one. With Rashenda as well. The next week, we have got Amy Jackson back. Amy used to be top casting director's top casting director Amy Hubbard's casting associate. Now Amy is a casting director in her own right and has set up on her own now. Basically, she's graduated the associate status. Now is a casting director in her own right. She co-cast The Outlaws, Stephen Merchant's Outlaws, with Amy Hubbard. Also Apple's smash hit Suspicion, and BBC drama The Girl Before. And in this session, ultimately, we did a Zoom with Amy last year when she was at Amy Hubbard's, went through the whole office and how their office works. Now she's out on her own. You're going to need new intel. You're going to need new information on Amy's projects, how she likes now personally on her own to be approached by actors, what you've got to do to get on a casting radar, what you've got to do to get self-tapes, what she likes with self-tapes, all of the inside knowledge that you just don't get anywhere else, basically. So that's happening the week after, on Tuesday the 3rd of May. So Rashenda is this Thursday, the 28th of April. Next Tuesday, the 3rd of May, is Amy. And I've got like another 3 or 4... I won't tell you now, people to add to this schedule that I'm going to be doing this week. So do keep an eye out on actonthis.tv/live for more details of what's coming up there. But for now, let me just play you a little teaser from Rashenda. She's funny. This is going to be such a good laugh. I really hope you can join us. actonthis.tv/live if you want to get your membership and be there. Actors, the sun is shining, things are getting hotter, and so are our live mastermind sessions at Act On This. I want to invite you to our next one. It's taking place on Thursday, the 28th of April at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom with this absolute legend here, star of some of the biggest TV shows out there. We're talking Line of Duty, Doctor Who, Small Axe, and upcoming Amazon Prime drama, The Rig. It's Rashenda Sandal. Rashenda, thanks so much for being here. What are we covering on Thursday night?
We're covering any question that you've got. I'm open to any questions and available to advise, help with any little knowledge that I've got.
I love it. Literally, open book on Thursday night. Actors, if you want to get involved in this, you want to jump on camera, have a little one-to-one with Rashenda, if we can answer any questions for you on success in this industry, auditioning, casting, self-taping, working on set, working with all these massive names Rashenda's worked with, get yourself involved in this chat. Get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details. We do this every single week with the biggest agents, casting directors, writers, producers, actors. Rashenda, basically the best people in the industry, like yourself. I've rattled through this. We've got loads of time for this, actually. I'm like, a little bit of pressure now, but we've got plenty of time. Woo! Why don't actors want to miss this session with you in particular?
Because it's going to be full of secrets and it is going to be an extravaganza.
Nice. One night to remember. And in the words of Faye McKeever, Rashenda, you're a right laugh. So if you want
no pressure, Faye. Thank you.
If you want a right laugh, be there at actonthis.tv/live. Boom, at actonthis.tv/live to get your membership. Ultimately, you will get a seat not just for that webinar, but every webinar we do for the month. If you get a monthly membership, or grab a year, save money on your membership. You'll literally save, you'll pay like what, $5 a week if you get a yearly membership. Plus, you'll get access to the Acts on This Ultimate Contacts database as well, which is a database of all the casting directors' details, casting associates' details, email addresses, casting assistants, agents, everyone in the industry. A database basically that's taken us 85 hours so far to put together for free, and you'll save money on your monthly membership. So yeah, at actonthis.tv/live if you want to be there. Rashenda says there, she's going to be giving you all the secrets. It's going to be an extravaganza. So do be there this Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. And like I say, the week after that, we got Amy Jackson on. Courtney says, would love to get cast by Amy in something. I'm near Bristol originally. I know she casts a lot in Bristol. Amy's wicked, honestly. Come and get involved in that, and we'll find out exactly what Amy's going to be working on next. I'm sure she's got some big projects lined up. So come and get all the inside info. And Alex, you said your NFT that you listed is on OpenSea. Send me the OpenSea link, mate. And what's it listed for? How many Ethereum? What do I have to? Well, I'll buy it if it's good. If you've never sold an NFT before, I'll buy it. But only if it's reasonably priced, Alex, just so you've at least got one under your belt. If you made it, that is. If you made it. Congrats, Joe. What have you just posted here? I see someone say, congrats, Joe. What's happened, Joe? So happy I nailed the actors interview. And now, so you got an agent, Joe. Wicked. Good. Excellent work. It says nailed the interview. Good work. And it's your brother's birthday dinner tonight. What a way to spend your Monday night. What a way to end the day. Good on you. Hopefully plenty of auditions on the way for you now then. Definitely. Right, we've got about 19 minutes left before we wrap it up. I'm going to throw it open, basically. Whatever anybody wants to chat about. If you've got any burning questions, if you've got any ideas for features you want me to put together for actonthis.tv, any ideas for that weekend that we're going to do in October based around mindset, things that you struggle with, things that you would want us to cover, any help you might need right now on that, I can offer as much advice as I possibly can on anything like that. Anything at all, let us know. Whack a question if you're on Facebook. Whack a question in the comments, and I will I'll sort that out. Oh, it's not an agent, it's a role play company, Joe. Oh, nice one though. That's still work, isn't it? That's still acting work, definitely. And hopefully you'll get plenty of that then. It's well paid role play work for people who are like, so I'm sort of like a big believer in side hustles that are connected to the industry in order to fund your career in the industry. And that's why I worked in casting for quite a while, because not only was I getting paid to work as a casting assistant, but I was learning loads about the industry as well. And role play is a really good one because you get well paid and you get to act quite a lot. You might be doing medical role play where you have to pretend you're a patient and you get a little brief beforehand, and a junior doctor comes in and you pretend you've got a sore leg, and you get given all the symptoms you're supposed to say you've got, and then they have to sort of train and diagnose the problem and that sort of stuff. And it's really well paid. and you get to sort of flex your acting muscles. So good on you, Joe, for that. Let us know how it goes. Alex says, I've got no idea what steps to take now with voiceover. Made a commercial reel, but I've no idea what to do now. How do I find work? Is it enough to get a voiceover agent with just a commercial reel, or do I need to add more reels with corporate gaming before approaching a voiceover agent? So, a few pointers on that, Alex. So, one, I'd need to listen to your commercial reel, mate. You should really have on a commercial reel. Just really, I mean, on a main voice reel consists of 3 commercial reads, so 3 adverts. It consists of 2 corporate reads, which would be anything from, I don't know, like, an About Us page on HMRC's website. If your voice would suit that, you've got to obviously figure out your voice type and the kind of products your voice would be associated with. So a corporate piece could be that. A corporate piece could also be, I don't know, a B&Q instructional video on how to make some flat pack furniture that you just bought, or something like that. And then you would have 2 documentary reads as well. Now, what you would do is you would record each of those reads in full. So you'd have a 30-second advert, a 30-second advert, a 30-second advert, and you would have them in separate files. And you'd have maybe a 20-second, corporate piece, another 20-second corporate piece, like in their entirety, separate files. And then you would have 2 documentaries, maybe 20 seconds, but again, separate files. And then what you would do is you would create a sizzle reel where you have a 60 to 90 second mashup of all of those pieces, and not in order, so it wouldn't go commercial necessarily. You could mix stuff up. You would change the energies up, so you'd want to have stuff that was high energy, followed by something that was maybe a little bit more serious, by something that was a bit higher energy, just to sort of like really, emphasize your range. And then that would be the reel that you would then send out to agents. And your agent, honestly, would be the reel that your agent then sends out as like, here's a good overall, feel for Alex or whatever. And then if there was a read within that mashup that the client who was going to book you wanted to hear, they might say, oh, that, Subway advert you did at 15 seconds in, you just put a clip in. Have you got the full thing? And yes, you've got the full thing. Then you can send them the full clip. But that's how reels kind of work. So you would ideally want more than commercial, Alex. However, for an agent to just see if they're interested in you, maybe commercial would be enough. And then what would happen is, if they were interested in you, then, together you would come up with the documentary reel and you would come up with the corporate reel as well. So you can definitely do some outreach. Another way to go would be the pay-to-play sites. So there's sites like Mandy Voices, there's stuff like Badalgo. Lots of these sites, you do have to pay to subscribe, unfortunately, but then you get access to briefs that go out on there. Now, the only thing with those sites are you've got to be quick. You've got to have a home setup, and what you'll find is you'll probably have to spend 2 or 3 days of the week sat in front of your computer, and you'll spend the whole day there, 10 till 6. And briefs will go up, and then you'll be there with your equipment, like your microphone or whatever, in a nice environment so it sounds good. And you'd create a quick demo, and then you submit it. And then you'd refresh the page and see these briefs that are coming in all day, and you'd record ones you think you're suited for and send them off. Because very often, lots of people are doing that. So it comes down to sometimes who can get their auditions in first. They might choose somebody from the first 15 people who submit because they need to turn around that job quickly. And that brief might stay up on the site way after they've actually already cast for it. So you've got to be quick on sites like that. The other markets to look at might be audiobooks, where when you get a job, narrating an audiobook, then obviously, you spend however much time you want to do on that, narrating that book. You get set a fee before you do that book on Amazon's ACX exchange. You can, bid for work effectively. People can put briefs up and say, I've got this horror book that needs this novel that's 3,000 pages. I need to turn into an audiobook. And you can put a bid in and say, well, I will do it for X amount. And then if they choose you based on some demo samples, maybe you should give them, then ultimately you might have 3 weeks to just record that book in your own time. There's lots of stuff in the voiceover industry, a lot of work out there, but it requires hustle. And then once you've got an agent, things do become, much easier. And then once you've worked with the studio, things become much easier. I'm just doing a couple of Netflix animations at the moment. I'm doing a remake of Pinocchio that the BBC are doing. I play a character called Mangiafuoco. He's this it's like traveling circus master in this cartoon. And I'm also doing another Netflix show called Simon. It's a kids cartoon with these little rabbits, these little super rabbits, and I play this character called Professor Wolf, who's a really evil kind of pantomime Professor Wolf. Like, he's a bit mental. He sort of talks like what we're saying today is he's just a very pantomime Dame-esque character, like, come on, little bunnies. He's like a psycho wolf. He always gets battered, though. And it's a really good laugh, really, really good fun. But that's because I've worked with that studio before and a few other things. So in voiceover, and it is like this in TV a little bit, but in voiceover, it's really loyal. If you do a good job for a studio, because you're not in vision, if you're versatile and you can, sound different, you'll get asked back time and time again to voice multiple characters because they just know you work well. So voiceover is a very lucrative business, and if you're good at it, you can build relationships, which just means you've got a consistent flow of work with or without an agent, to be honest. But having an agent really makes a difference. That should be your end game, Alex. But for now, have a look at maybe recording those other reels. Corporate gaming's a completely separate thing, but for most voiceover, it's going to be commercial, corporate, and documentary, mate. So real sort of just normal. They're your bread and butter jobs. And then gaming and animation, you would have a completely separate reel for those. They're more voice acting than voiceover. But we'll do more. We'll do more features on That's on This.tv on voiceover if that's what people want. I might get my voiceover agents to come back on again. They've not been on for probably over a year. What I'm trying to do is, we've had in the industry on That's on This, we've probably had every major casting director pretty much, bar a few, over the years. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back. Anything that's over sort of 18 months since we've had somebody on. So I've got Amy on next week. We're going to go back through and I'm going to replace all those older features, even though a lot of the content is evergreen. Obviously, the stuff we recorded 18 months, 2 years ago, we were in lockdown, so there's quite a lot of stuff referring to that. Now I want to, re-record those features effectively with these people, have a catch-up, and then find out how they're working now, because then those features will become, effectively like probably evergreen forever, unless we go into another pandemic. Touch wood, it's not going to happen. I might get my voiceover agents back on, Alex, definitely. Natalie says, dealing with nerves, etc. after waiting for audition results. Especially if you never hear back either way. It's really hard, isn't it? As I say, my girlfriend's going through this now. She auditions for this show this week, and then is now, on Friday actually, submitted the tape. And it's for a really big show, one of my favourite Netflix shows ever. And yeah, it's exciting, but it's also a little bit torturous where you're like, oh God, I've got my hopes up, I'm getting my hopes up. What if? It's really hard, but there's a great book called The Art of Letting Go. And I think everybody should read it. Not read it actually, because it's I think it's better as an audio book. And it teaches you how to surrender. And I think this can apply to so many areas of your life. And suddenly anxiety and stress and worry just melt away when you really go, I'm actually genuinely going to learn the art of letting things go. And then what will be, will be. And it's really honestly, the first sort of 3 chapters of that book are life-changing. It was for me anyway, because I used to get really hung up on this. And not just this, but other areas of my life as well. Things that you really care about, you can kind of obsess about, can't you? And this book literally is just teaching you how scientifically to really just sort of release all of these thoughts and feelings and emotions from your body. A lot of it is through breath, literally going, I give myself permission to let this go. And I think you've got to get a grip of that around auditions, because if you don't, then you do obsess about it. And then if you don't get it or you don't hear either way, then you feel you've done something wrong. And I promise you that's never the case. It's never the case at all. I worked in casting. It's so not the case. It could be something so out of your control. But if you don't let go of that stuff, then yeah, it sort of paralyzes you a little bit, and it might stop you in the short term for going after other opportunities. What I like to do is shut the door on an audition, give myself grace for whatever happened. I've obviously done my best, even if it went to shit in there. I didn't expect it to, I didn't plan it to, I didn't want it to. Something might have just gone wrong. I remember having a Hollyoaks audition once, I probably mentioned this before, and I knew I could have nailed it. I was like, this part's mine, I can do this with my eyes closed. But I had a voiceover job beforehand in Manchester, and the audition was with Peter Hunt in Liverpool. And I remember rushing across town. I was going to miss my train, and I just about managed it. And then I'm going over the lines on the train. I already knew them. I'd nailed it. But because my heart rate was up, my breathing was up, and I was running to the audition, and I got there. And what I should have said is, Peter, I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. I've just had to rush to get here. Can I just have 10 minutes to just sit out and just sort of breathe and get myself together? And I didn't. I just went in and I did a shit job, if I'm honest with you. It took 3 takes for me to even get the lines right. And I was I just walked out going, I didn't deserve that job. But I was all right with it. I'd learned to surrender and let it go, because I was there's just going to be times in my life where that happens. And I've learned a lesson. I'm not going to label that as a tragedy. That's a gift. I've just learned that actually, you know what? If I rush to an audition, I'm going to have the guts to go, I just need some time out for a little minute. Can someone go before me or whatever? I just need it in order for me to perform very well. So I'll always give myself grace and go, you know what? I still did my best. Without a doubt, I didn't mean that to fuck up. But then I shut the door on that. And then I go, right, how can I search, even on the train on the way home, for my next opportunity? Who can I tweet? Where can I post my reel? Who can I email who I've not emailed for ages? That kind of stuff. So keeping busy will always take your mind off just, what's just happened effectively. And what will be, will be. What will be, Nat. But again, that's something that we can cover, when we look at mindset again, definitely. Self-tape advice, monologues, setup. Scott, go to actonthis.tv/self-tape. Download the kit list that I've got there. You get it for free. Just put your email address in. And I show you the exact setup that I use for my self-tapes. That includes the pop-up background, the lights. Well, different lights, actually. There's a choice depending on your budget. Microphone, tripod. It's all stuff that I can vouch for because I bought it myself. So in terms of setup, have a look at that. And then just in terms of advice, if you can't afford kit, a couple of things that are just absolutely crucial. Lighting is crucial. So if you can't afford lights, make sure you do self-tapes through the day. Shoot in front of a large window if you can, with the light coming in on you, not behind you. We just really need to see your face. It'll light you up. It's going to make you pop off the background. So we want a background that's not distracting, so we can't see your kitchen table and all your pots on the sink and that sort of stuff. If you can, ideally against a plain wall. Don't wear anything too distracting. Try to wear something contrasting to the background so that, you pop off the background, you don't blend into it. And the other thing that people forget, and again, it's hard because you would need a little bit of a budget, but audio, people really forget audio. They either, spend money on a really expensive camera and then realize that the onboard microphone's dog shit. Because expensive cameras aren't designed to take good audio. They're designed to take good picture, and they expect if you're going to spend that much on a camera, you know what you're doing, and you're going to have professional audio, that's recorded separately. You don't need to do that for a self-tape, but you can buy, and it's on that kit list, something called a Rode Smart Lav Plus. It's about 40 quid, but it's a great lavalier pin-on mic that I use for all my self-tapes. That just means that your audio is crystal clear. If you're in an echoey room and the camera's far away from you, we just don't want to miss. And audio is so important. There can be very subtle things in your voice, in your tone, in your pitch and pace you deliver a line. We don't want to miss that information. We don't, if you're throwing a line away because it's quite in sort of, what's the word? Quite reflective, maybe, it's quite internal, but, you're just sort of, mulling things over. We lose that if you're too far away from the camera and your audio is not good. So don't forget about audio. But have a look on that kit list, Scott, and maybe self-tapes is something that we maybe just even do a session on a Tuesday or Thursday night on Acts on This. We might do some kind of what would be more useful for you, because I always find it quite hard. I don't want to teach people to act. It's never been my thing. I teach people the business of the business, the business of acting, how to make money from this industry. Ultimately, so you don't have to fight and have a day job that you hate and all this sort of stuff to get work. So I wouldn't really want to teach people here's how to perform well on a self-tape. But if it would be useful for people to learn how to set up a self-tape from a technical perspective, that's something that I could absolutely, go through on a Zoom call, on one of our member calls, and maybe, bring somebody on who, is knowledgeable on that as well, or a casting director, to look at some tapes that people have shot. That might be something that's worthwhile. Sharon says, I keep trying to get role play work, but nothing successful yet. I have first aid background, so I could definitely play a patient. Don't know how to get into it though. Speak to Joe, Sharon. Joe's literally just signed with a company today that gets role play work. So that would be something worth doing. And if anybody else has got any experience around role play and stuff, medical role play, that kind of stuff, getting paid. I used to do role play in law, Sharon, when I first left uni. Literally, in the last year of drama school, there was a big law firm in Manchester called Halliwell's. Don't know if they're still there now, but I would go and do corporate stuff with them and role play around employment law and stuff like that. Quite interesting. So there's quite a lot of different work out there, definitely. Kanke, how you doing? It says, building credits for Spotlight. What do I need under my belt? Is there a straight answer? Yeah, so you just need 4. This is as far as I remember. Let's you know what? let's do this for you now. I'll show you how you would find this information out. Let's just go over to a web browser. Let's go to, well, let's just Google Spotlight joining criteria. Getting started as a Spotlight member. It was 4 credits basically back in the day. You need to have either formal drama school training or have had paid speaking roles in at least 4 professional productions. So they can be short films on the BAFTA shortlist, so not just regular short films. Theatre or character-driven voice work. You'll be asked to provide evidence of your training and or experience as part of your application. If you're struggling, here are some great tips that I'll show you there. But ultimately, yeah, you can have a look at the nuances of that. But it's really theatre work that's paid. It's feature film work that's paid, but they can be independent feature films that are not high budget. Monologue Slam is something that not a lot of people know counts as a credit. Monologue Slam is like an event held up and down the country that I hope is coming back very soon because it finished around the COVID stuff, but now it should be coming back, I'm sure. Jimmy Akinbola and Fraser Ayres run it, a company called Triforce Creative Network, TCN. Jimmy's a great guy, says Fraser. They're brilliant, like great writers and directors. Jimmy plays Jeffrey in the remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fraser is an incredible writer and a great actor as well. They have Triforce Creative Network, and Monologue Slam is an event where you can go and perform a 1-minute or a 3-minute monologue. And if you audition, you get chosen to perform at one of their events, and about 25 people a night perform. It's a bit like it's almost like a rap battle, but an acting battle. There's generally a panel of industry professionals there who vote for their favourite, and you can win prizes. But even just appearing there counts as 1 credit for Spotlight as well. So if you are like, oh god, I've only got 1 to get on Monologue Slam. That's a really good one. But the rest of the stuff, would be theatre and education, paid feature film work, short film work, but that has to unfortunately be BAFTA long list qualifying, or maybe BAFTA shortlist qualifying, which is a feat in itself. There's not many of those knocking around. Yeah, it's BAFTA short film list. Yeah, other stuff will be Monologue Slam, but have a look on the Spotlight page there. It should show you everything that you need to know. But you don't need to be on Spotlight to be reaching out to people. A lot of people think that. No, you don't. It helps to get inside track on auditions and stuff like that, and it helps to get an agent because an agent can submit you for stuff easier if you're on Spotlight. It shouldn't stop you promoting yourself in the meantime, though. Let's have a look. Alex says Bidalgo is tricky to get on. I've been on Voices 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Bidalgo effectively is a little bit again like a Spotlight type thing where you've got to qualify in order to actually get on Bidalgo as a voiceover artist. But keep working towards it, Alex, mate. Get on. You're on Voices 1, 2, 3. Keep spending time on there, seeing what comes up. Reach out to people. Maybe you get some. Have a look on Spotlight Link as well. Sometimes voiceover jobs do go out on Spotlight Link. Have a look, and even if there's something that's not necessarily suitable for you, note who is casting it, note where it's coming from, and maybe even drop them just your reel through. Just say, look, I know that this isn't suitable for me, but I'm looking for voiceover work. Is there anything else? Definitely. A couple of minutes left. It's just gone 10. I'll quickly answer a couple more questions. Let's have a look. Alex is saying Babu Cisse was going to do a workshop with me on self-tapes, but he's moved back to Gambia after a couple of jobs, and his just availability isn't great, Alex. But I'm gonna really try and get Babu on because he's absolutely amazing. He's a great guy for Mindset as well. Fantastic actor. If you've not watched, guys, by the way, if you're a member of Acts on this and you've not watched this session, let me just go back over to my web browser dead quick. There's a session in the members area with actor Babu Cisse. He's just one of the most inspirational guys you'll ever meet. Just when you're in here, just click search at the top there. I always forget you can do this. And just type in Babu. Yeah, type in Babu there. And there's this one here called How to Truly Master Your Mindset with BAFTA-nominated actor Babu Cisse. Watch this feature or listen to the audio. So there's a video version of it. There's an audio version of everything on Acts on this. So you can just listen when you're out and about if you don't want to sit and watch the video. But my God, what a motivational, inspiring session that was. One of the best that I've ever done on actsonthis.tv by far. Let's have a look. Audiobooks and video games count as credits as well now, says Courtney. That's great knowledge. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So that's another thing to explore for anyone looking to get on Spotlight as well. Let's have a look. Would the day player roles from Corrie or EastEnders or shows qualify for Spotlight? Hell yeah, Mark. Yeah, they're like proper cast roles. So we're not talking extra work, that wouldn't. But when I talk about day players, These are cast properly auditioned roles. They're not background work or anything like that. This is real speaking roles that you will get paid handsomely for. There might only be 2 lines in Emmerdale on Corrie, but you can still get paid significantly for those smaller roles. And yes, they absolutely count as spotlight credits. They're the most legitimate credits you could have. And Alex says it was one of the best acts on this sessions ever. I have to say, with Babu, it really was, wasn't it? I've got to get him to do that self-tape session with us, Alex. I will do everything I can to make that happen. I'm going to love you and leave you guys. It's 3 minutes past 10, but thank you so much for being here. We do this every single week. If you're here for the first time, or you're listening on the audio experience for the first time, or you found this on Facebook or YouTube for the first time or whatever, come and join us, facebook.com/Act on This TV every Monday night, 9 till 10, completely free of charge. If you really want to go deep on your development as an actor and get knowledge that you just don't get anywhere else, if you literally are desperate to audition for a particular casting director in this industry or a particular show, I guarantee you I will have that casting director on within the next, few weeks or months. We do this every single week for members of Acts on This.tv, where we host private Zoom calls or these, in-depth member-only podcasts where you will learn basically exactly what you need to do as an actor to get in front of these people, to land auditions, and to just smash it in the industry, basically. This is stuff that no drama school will teach you, no acting class, no acting book. Nobody else does this, and you can get a membership literally for the price of a latte and a slice of cake. Basically, you probably spent more than a week's membership on Acts on This today on a Subway sandwich, or something like that. So if you are, wanting to go further in the industry, maybe you're struggling, you're bashing your head against the wall, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Come and join the community, actonthis.tv. Get a membership. I want to see you on these live calls. You'll become part of one of the most supportive acting communities in the world. It's funny, people join Acts on This.tv for the content because I want to get access to all these people. And then people stay for the community because the community is just the freaking best. It really, really is. People are so supportive of each other. They share information. They read in for each other on, self-tapes. They're like cheering for each other. That's the thing that I'm most proud of, really. So if you really want to feel supported and you want to always have direction and have a roadmap, really, of where to go and what to do next in the industry, come and get your membership, actonthis.tv. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys on the call with Rashenda on Thursday night. And Sharon says, would love to get Andy Pryor on. Yeah, Andy's not been on. Andy Pryor, credible casting director. He's not been on probably for 18 months, 2 years, Sharon. So Andy's definitely on the list. Anne-Marie McDade-Wren, Andy's casting associate, definitely on the list to get them back on again if I can. Definitely. Ollie, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. I'm just about to wrap up and finish though, Ollie. But you can watch the replay. You can watch us on the replay. But yeah, if you've got any other suggestions for guests and stuff like that, or you want me to expedite a particular guest who's been on in the past to come back on, do let me know, and I will do my best to make that happen. So I'll finish by playing Rashenda's trailer out again. But this is happening Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. She's incredible. You're going to get loads of advice, loads of knowledge from an actor who is crushing it in this industry, and he's so open and happy to help other people. So come and join us for this, actonthis.tv/live for more details. And just have an amazing week. And please expect good things to happen in your life. Allow them in. Expect them. Surrender to all the shit that's happened in the past. Don't fear what's coming tomorrow. Be as present as you can and just try and enjoy the week, guys. All right. Love to you all. Have an amazing week, and I'll catch up with you all very, very soon. Until next time, bye for now. Actors, the sun is shining, things are getting hotter, and so are our live mastermind sessions at Act on This. I want to invite you to our next one. It's taking place on Thursday, the 28th of April at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom with this absolute legend here, star of some of the biggest TV shows out there. We're talking Line of Duty, Doctor Who, Small Axe, and upcoming Amazon Prime drama, The Rig. It's Rashenda Sandal. Rashenda, thanks so much for being here. What are we covering on Thursday night?
We're covering any question that you've got. I'm open to any questions and available to advise, help with any little knowledge that I've got.
I love it. Literally, open book on Thursday night. Actors, if you want to get involved in this, you want to jump on camera, have a little one-to-one with Rashenda, if we can answer any questions for you on success in this industry, auditioning, casting, self-taping, working on set, working with all these massive names Rashenda's worked with, get yourself involved in this chat. Get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details. We do this every single week with the biggest agents, casting directors, writers, producers, actors. Rashenda, basically the best people in the industry, like yourself. And I've rattled through this. We've got loads of time for this, actually. I'm like, a little bit of pressure now, but we've got plenty of time.
Woo!
Why don't actors want to miss this session with you in particular?
Because it's going to be full of secrets and it is going to be an extravaganza.
Nice. One night to remember. And in the words of Faye McKeever, Rashenda, you're a right laugh. So if you want
No pressure, Faye. Thank you.
if you want a right laugh, be there at onthis.tv/live.